What's up YouTube, this is MathWiz97 and welcome to episode number 43 of my SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 General Manager mode. And we are here with the Armageddon pay-per-view event here in the series. And this is a big one. It is another SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. Of course, we're coming off of the Survivor Series pay-per-view, which was a cross-branded event. And, well, we did win the ratings war on the night. We came up short in the main event matchup with Benoit getting buried alive by Shawn Michaels. So tonight, hopefully we can try to rectify that mistake with a stellar pay-per-view here tonight. As we see, we're kicking this event off with a Cruiserweight Championship matchup, which was supposed to be a triple threat involving Rey Mysterio, but unfortunately, Paul London and Mysterio's rivalry expired prior to this event. You saw in the last episode we got that thumbs down rating, so unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have that matchup here tonight. Perhaps we'll try to set it in place for the Royal Rumble, but I don't know. We'll see how things go. For now, we got to figure out who is going to walk out of here tonight the Cruiserweight Champion. Will Paul London retain, or will Ric Flair become a two-time Cruiserweight Champion here in the series? He could join Rob Van Dam with the title of two-time Cruiserweight Champion. At least I believe Van Dam was a two-time champ. I could have just pulled that number out of my backside and I just made it up on the spot. But I'm fairly certain that Van Dam held the Cruiserweight title twice. Anywho, nonetheless, it's still an impressive feat for Ric Flair if he could defeat Paul London here tonight. But before we go too far into the event, I do want to let you know that down in the comments section below, the description. Down in the description there will be all the match times as per usual on a pay-per-view event such as this. So, if you want to skip ahead to the main event, the Armageddon Hell in the Cell matchup for the World Heavyweight title, well, you can do that. That'll be down there in the description with the timestamp to the beginning of the match. So be sure to go ahead and check that out. But as we see right now, Paul London, he's got a headlock. Oh, but Flair counter. Oh, counter for counter. Nice exchange there between Flair and London, as London now ducks behind Ric Flair, the veteran in this matchup. And that could perhaps give him the edge over the young, up-and-coming Paul London. But Paul London, obviously, he's had a long journey to become the Cruiserweight Champion, and he has defeated Ric Flair before in the past. So, Paul London, he's had a match with Flair in the past, so these two, they have had an opportunity to square off against each other, kind of feel each other out. But here tonight, Cruiserweight title's on the line. This isn't just some non-title exhibition matchup. This is for all the marbles. Everything is up for grabs in this one. As we see Paul London kicks Flair away. And now look at this. Backbreaker right there to the Nature Boy. Taking him down. But, oh, a low blow. Low blow from Ric Flair. And as we've basically established by this point, the referee doesn't call disqualifications for low blows. Don't know why, but it's pointless to discuss it at this point. I mean, we've done that plenty of times in the past 42 episodes, so there's no need to argue with the referee on that decision. But that does definitely solidify, well, Paul London gives the dirtiest player in the game a little bit of payback there with that one. So Flair gets a taste of his own medicine. Of course, when you're, oh, another low blow. And, well, that's why they call him the dirtiest player in the game. Wait a minute, Paul London with the roll-up. He's got Flair stacked up on his shoulders. 2 counts, and no! Just barely at the last second, Ric Flair manages to survive. And now both men collide right there. London ducks underneath again. Flair, well, he missed there. He was trying to attack London, but wait a minute now. Flair, he's got him. Backslide here. London stacked up, but London's feet reaching that bottom rope, and oh, a huge enziguri kick to the back of the skull of the Nature Boy, and off the top, elbow drop there from Paul London. And the Cruiserweight champ, he is in good form at the moment. Flair kicks him away to try to create some space. London ducks underneath, and now he's got Flair in position as London continues his assault. Flair now bouncing off the ropes. Here's Paul London scooping him up and slamming him down right on his arm. Flair, his arm was all wrapped up there. And now Paul London looking for the roll-up, looking to get Flair right here into the cover. But a kick out by Flair before the referee could get into position. The ref was a little slow on that one, I gotta be honest. The referee's gotta work on his cardio a bit more, work on his speed. As we see now, Flair with a drop kick, taking down Paul London, and now kicking away at the leg. Right about at the knee joint of Paul London, and oh, that is vintage Ric Flair going to work on the leg, trying to soften his opponent up for that devastating figure 4 leg lock submission hold. And if Flair can lock that in, well, that'll be good night for Paul London, as Flair takes London down with that knee lift. But the Cruiserweight champ, he's back to his feet. Nice counter there to Flair. Look at this. Dragon suplex into the bridge. 1, 2, 3. No! Ric Flair. Ric Flair kicks out at 2. Ooh, that was like 2 7/8. Couldn't get much closer than that. London, he was just a hair's breadth from a victory here, but nope. Ric Flair, he's not done just yet. He's got a little fight left in him. Oh, huge knee right to the gut there as London ducks behind. Counter from Flair. Nice elbow to the jaw. Now chopping away at London. The crowd getting fired up because, you know, when Ric Flair hits those chops, those will light you up. London, he could definitely suffer some severe damage at the hands of those knife-edge chops. London, nice way to sweep out the legs there, take Flair down. And now again, he's got Flair in a lockup. Look at London. DDT right there, and a beautiful one at that. As now London goes to the top rope, looking for an elbow drop, but Flair gets the knees up, and Paul London, he crashed and burned on that one. And here's Ric Flair now, looking to take advantage, although London with a nice counter. And now he catches a punch from Flair. Flair trying to strike him. London, he's going to have none of that, and going back after the arm of Ric Flair. So London, he's looking to do a little bit of damage to Ric Flair, isolating the body part and going to work, slowly picking Ric Flair apart. And off that huge kick to the face, London pulls Flair back, but Flair able to duck underneath, and now catches a punch attempt from London. Flair with a strike to the face, and a second one. Oh, and Flair, he's measuring him. Oh, no, London able to block it, and a huge drop kick right to Flair's jaw, and he just dropped the Nature Boy. And another drop kick, but Flair, he was able to sidestep out of the way. And London now. Counter from Flair, counter from London, I should say, not Flair. And now Flair, he's dropped to the mat. London connects with that standing moonsault. And here's Paul London, kick to the gut. And now he's got Flair. What's he looking to do here? Again, going to work on the arm of Ric Flair. Not at all a bad decision here from Paul London. Keep going to work on that body part. Try to wear it down, perhaps prevent Flair, or try to take away some moves out of his offense. Oh, he ducks underneath, and Dragon suplex into the bridge for the second time. And this has got to be it. And indeed it is. Paul London retains the Cruiserweight Championship here in the opening matchup of the Armageddon pay-per-view. As we move on to the second matchup of the evening, this one is for the United States Championship. And for Shelton Benjamin, this is a very similar situation to the No Mercy pay-per-view when Benjamin put his United States Championship on the line in a Fatal 4-Way, a matchup which he, of course, lost. It was won by Kane, but of course, since that time, Kane, he has dropped the United States Championship to Rob Van Dam in a shocking turn of events on an episode of SmackDown just following Survivor Series. And now, Rob Van Dam, he's faced with a similar task that Benjamin at one point had to endure, and that is this Fatal 4-Way matchup. And now making his way down to the ring, it is Captain Charisma, it is Christian. Christian, of course, he's got his personal history with Shelton Benjamin over the course of the past month. Several weeks beyond that even, Christian and Benjamin, they have both fallen into a similar situation, and now that Kane has lost that U.S. title, he's in danger of falling into that position as well, where, you know, you have these guys, they're on the roster, they're on the shows, but they don't really have a place. They're not really doing much. They're not in a rivalry, or they are not competing for a championship. They're not exactly at the peak that they once were. I mean, we take a look at everyone who's not Van Dam in this matchup. You have Kane, a former United States champion. Shelton Benjamin, a former United States champion. I mean, heck, I believe Kane was also tag team champ at one point. Yes, he was, in fact. He was, at one point, tag team champion. So Kane, former two-time champ here in the series. And then you have Christian, who is the former Cruiserweight Champion. He held that title for quite a while, a title which he actually won from Rob Van Dam in a Battle Royal on an episode of SmackDown. And that, man, that was a while ago. So, I mean, really, since Christian lost the Cruiserweight title to Paul London at the No Mercy pay-per-view, Christian, he's been sort of out of luck. He hasn't really had much to do. And now that he's, been going after Shelton Benjamin, he's managed to land himself a spot in this U.S. title matchup, which is good for him. Try to get his career back on track. And the same for Shelton Benjamin. Perhaps it could be a bit ironic that he's competing in this Fatal 4-Way matchup, because of course, he lost the Fatal 4-Way, lost the U.S. title back at No Mercy. Perhaps this could be Shelton Benjamin's night. Perhaps fate will smile upon him, and he'll be able to win that title back as Van Dam with a huge kick right to the jaw of Christian. And let's not forget about Rob Van Dam in this whole equation. He, as well, is a former Cruiserweight Champion. Like I said, he dropped the belt to Christian in that Battle Royal. And since then, Van Dam was in a bit of a tough predicament. He competed at No Mercy in that very same Fatal 4-Way where Kane won the U.S. title. Big Show was the fourth man involved in that matchup as well. Van Dam, he was able to end his rivalry with the Big Show. He managed to walk out the winner, which in that First Blood matchup where he defeated the Big Show, it was enough to get him a #1 contender's shot at Kane's U.S. title. And Van Dam, he was struggling. I mean, he really was having a hard time against the Big Red Monster. But eventually, Van Dam, he managed to capture that lightning in a bottle, and he finally dug down deep, and he found what he needed to defeat this machine, this beast of a man that is Kane, this demon, in fact. And now he's the U.S. champion, so perhaps Van Dam could be in the mix, or in the I can't think of the word, the midst. He could be in the process of a career resurgence at the moment. This could be Van Dam's night. I mean, perhaps if he can keep this up, if he can remain in good form, he could perhaps manage to get a World Heavyweight Championship title shot before the end of this series. I mean, wouldn't that be something? Van Dam, he competed for just about every title, if that was the case. Although Van Dam, he still hasn't quite gone after those tag team titles yet. That could also be in the cards for Van Dam. I mean, heck, maybe he could be the first ever United States and tag team champion at the same time. I mean, that's something we've yet to see here in the series. I don't think we've ever seen that in any GM mode series, for that matter. No, because 08 was ECW, so that never happened. So yeah, it could be a first. Van Dam, I wouldn't put it past him. He does have the ability. He has the talent. Also, you can't... Sometimes talent's not enough. Sometimes you have to have a little bit of luck. And Van Dam, he might just have that on his side here tonight as certainly an unlucky situation. I mean, the odds are stacked against him. He has a 25% chance of retaining the title because he's facing 3 other men. And, well, as you see right now, this is a similar situation to how the title changed hands at No Mercy. We had Van Dam and Big Show, they were out on the outside. This time it's Kane. And Shelton and Kane were in the ring. And that was how Kane, he managed to choke slam Shelton Benjamin. Van Dam and Big Show were too busy. They were distracted. They were too busy beating the crap out of each other that Kane was able to score the win over Benjamin. That could be the case here tonight, although Christian, perhaps playing in reverse for Benjamin, as Christian taking the role of Shelton at No Mercy. As Van Dam now, he's in the ring. He's perhaps looking to take the dominant position. He's got the high ground, but Kane's looking to join him. As Kane is swinging that barbed wire, or that 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire. Van Dam, he's got the chair, but oh, the referee this referee, he just can't seem to catch a break. He just can't seem to get out of the way, as Van Dam just completely kicked him square in the face with that steel chair. I mean, the ref could be down for quite some time. That is the ref bump of all ref bumps in this series. You don't want to take a shot like that. But now it's Christian who's got the steel chairs. He just leveled Van Dam square in the face. And now Shelton with a half crab here, looking to force the U.S. champ to tap out. But Kane, he's not going to let that happen. He gets over there to break that one up. As this referee just cannot learn to get out of the way, is Kane now striking everybody with that 2x4. The referee getting, a glancing blow of it as well. I mean, he's trying to keep these four under control, but that's impossible in this Fatal 4-Way. I mean, there's no way. There's too much action going on, ref. You might as well just... I mean, no disqualification. You might as well just stay out of the way and just count the pinfalls, count the... Yep, ref's down. Got a little too close to the action. Really. But yeah, ref, I mean, if I'm the referee, I'm just going to hide in a corner, and I'm just going to, you know, keep a close eye on what's going on, but not too close, you get what I'm saying. You know, I don't want to get a concussion by getting hit with a bunch of steel chairs from all these professional athletes. I mean, ref, I mean, he seems to be in good shape, but I don't think if it comes down to a fight with one of these guys, I don't think the referee stands a chance in hell. So he might as well just kind of keep his distance. Oh, Van Dam almost caught him again with that running Van Daminator. Van Dam just can't seem to hit anybody with that Van Daminator. It's not working for him. Shelton now, he's got the 2x4. Christian's got the chair. As well, now Van Dam, he's got another chair. Perhaps looking to go for that Van Daminator again. But Benjamin, somehow, if you hold a weapon, you can't be knocked over. I mean, the weapon somehow adds some sort of extra protection or something. But Benjamin just got clocked with a steel chair. Now look at this, Van Dam, 5-star frog splash. Wait a minute, Christian seeks it for the cover. Christian is the new United States champion. Wow, Christian, he just snuck right in with that one. I believe he nailed Kane right in the face with a steel chair. Out on the outside, Van Dam, he'd hit the frog splash just as Van Dam was going to go for the cover. Christian snuck in just a moment before. The referee saw it. He counted the 3. Van Dam, there was nothing he could do. Christian, just like that, he sneaks in and he captures the United States Championship. Very, very smart move there by Christian. He saw his opportunity and he took it. And now he is the new United States champion. Well, that was certainly an unexpected situation. That was an interesting turn of events. It looked like Van Dam was on the verge of retaining the gold, but just like that, Christian sneaks in just a split second sooner, and that's all it took. I mean, that's what happens in those Fatal 4-Way matches. The champ does not have to be pinned. And that's the fate Van Dam suffers here tonight. He almost was robbed of that United States Championship. And, well, that's tough luck for him, but he does have a rematch clause. We can expect him to use that at some point in the near future. But for now, Christian, a very smart move to him. I have to applaud him. That was a very clever move. Good timing by Christian. Right place, right time. And, well, much like his best friend who's in this matchup at the moment, you could say that was definitely shades of the ultimate opportunist. Christian, he saw the opportunity, and man, did he take it. But as we see now, we're moving on to the tag team championship matchup. This inside of a steel cage. So, of course, what happens here? Both tag team partners will have to escape the cage, and you have to do that. I mean, if for example, Jericho would go outside the ring, his feet would touch, and he'd be out of the cage match, then the match is not won. Edge now would have to escape the cage. However, that puts your tag team partner in a very interesting predicament, because then it's a glorified handicap match. Jericho, he would be stuck on the outside, he'd be forced to watch. He can't get involved. He's already out of the matchup now that he has escaped the cage. So that's sort of that's what you have to face here. It's an interesting sort of it's almost a double-edged sword with this sort of steel cage match. I mean, the best way you could probably win, you and your partner just have to be in sync at the same moment, that you can take out both of your opponents and then escape the cage at the exact same time. That's really the best strategy you could have, the best way to win this. But that is much easier said than done, especially when your opponents are Latino Heat, the man who loves to lie, cheat, and steal, Eddie Guerrero, and of course, the Animal, Dave Batista. I mean, both of these teams very... Also, see, Edge trying to escape the cage. He's climbing. Can he get out of it? We could see an early escape, very early escape right here. Oh, but Batista, he brings Edge back inside the cage. He's not going to let that happen. Edge, he's going to have to do more damage than that if he wants to hope to escape the cage. But as I was saying, I mean, both of these teams are very formidable. We saw them square off at, I mean, speaking of No Mercy earlier with that Fatal 4-Way, we saw these two teams involved in that triple threat, that triangle ladder match for the tag team titles, which was actually won by Bret Hart and the British Bulldog, winning the titles from then champs Eddie and Batista. My apologies for getting the names mixed up there. But then we also had the night after, or the episode of SmackDown after, I should say, the triangle tables match for the tag team titles, which was won by Jericho and Edge. And then, you know, it all culminated, that hardcore triple threat tornado tag at the last pay-per-view Survivor Series, which Jericho and Edge retained, which leads us to this matchup tonight, as the former champs Batista and Eddie Guerrero look to, I mean, they never really got a fair one-on-one rematch for the gold, because with that being that triangle situation, that table match took place, and just like that, the rematch clause was gone out the window, because, I mean, Bret Hart and the Bulldog, they would have had a rematch clause as well. So they both kind of got their opportunities at Survivor Series, but it's not exactly a fair one-on-one rematch that you'd probably be expecting out of a rematch clause. So Batista and Eddie, they were able to work hard enough to convince the GM that, hey, they are deserving of that fair one-on-one matchup. But we got to do something to spice it up a little bit. So a first ever here in this GM mode series, we have a steel cage tag team matchup. And that might actually be the first in any of my GM series as well. I can't recall if there was a tag team steel cage in 08. I don't believe there was. Yeah, you know, there probably was actually. So it's a first for this series at least. And that's what I like to do with this series. I want to try to add some variety to it, not give you the same thing week in, week out. And I feel like this year I kind of met my expectations as to what I wanted to do with all the stipulation matches. I mean, the Hell in the Cell has only been used twice, and this tonight is the second time we've used it. This one would be the Armageddon Hell in the Cell matchup as well. So that's still, it's not quite the same as the Hell in the Cell we saw at SummerSlam. You can expect to see something different tonight, with there being 6 men in the cell at once. So I mean, there's still sort of a couple of match options I could do yet. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing with the tag team title picture following this pay-per-view. Of course, it all depends on who wins. If Batista and Guerrero were to win, then Jericho and Edge would presumably get a rematch for the titles. It's not unreasonable to expect, but it's possible that you know, I would like to try to get another, whether it's a table triple threat or a ladder triple threat tornado tag. Even if it's not for the titles, I would like to implement that matchup at least one more time. Probably one more time each, just because it's not in 07 and it wasn't in 08, so I figured there's only so many times I can use that. So it'd be cool to kind of bring that back in a later episode, but we'll have to see how the tag team picture progresses. But for now, we see Edge is down, but he's back to his feet. Batista's down after that Walls of Jericho applied by Chris Jericho. And now, oh, a huge wheel kick right to the skull of Guerrero, as he's busted wide open. You can see the blood all over the canvas as Edge and Batista continue to go at it. Jericho and Guerrero do the same, as we do have a couple of rivalries going into this one. I believe the Edge and Batista one just fell short, but they certainly have had their history with each other. They had that ongoing rivalry for, whoa, that was almost like, that was at least 3 months that they had that rivalry going on. It was a very crazy rivalry between Batista and Edge. But wait a minute, Edge is looking to escape the cage. Jericho as well. Edge, he's up over the top. Can he climb down? Yes, that's exactly what Edge is doing. He is escaping, but unfortunately for Jericho, that is not a place he wants to be. Oh man, I can empathize with Jericho on that one. That can't be pretty. Ugh. But as Jericho, he didn't manage to escape the cage. Edge, he was already on his way out, so Batista and Guerrero just decided, you know what? Oh, another low blow too, and then a huge knee to the face. But Batista and Guerrero, basically, they just decided, we're gonna both go after Jericho, make sure that we can at least keep him in this matchup. They were willing to cut their losses, as Edge is now outside, and here's that glorified handicap matchup I was talking about. It's Jericho up against Batista and Guerrero. You could say he's in the belly of the beast at the moment. As look at this, running bulldog from Batista as the Animal takes Y2J down from behind. But Jericho, well, he connected with the referee there. Guess Jericho is just looking to attack anything that moves. I mean, he's in that kind of mode right now where he's got to fight anything that moves. Wait a minute, a bit of a miscommunication there from Guerrero as Jericho tried to climb, but Guerrero, he's not going to let him escape that easily. As now, well, Guerrero, he got clocked in the face with that kick once before, so he doesn't want to get hit with it again, as he had that well scouted. And here's Batista, got him up, power slam. Beautiful display of strength there from the Animal, as Guerrero's looking to climb, and Batista, he's looking to do the same as well. Jericho is down, Guerrero's climbing, Batista's climbing. Jericho, he might not be able to stop either of them. There goes Guerrero, but Jericho just catches Batista from behind. And now Jericho looking to make the escape. Batista is down. Jericho, he's got to capitalize. As here we go. Jericho, he's climbing, but Batista's back. He's up to his feet, and down goes Jericho. As now it's a one-on-one situation here. It's down to Batista and Chris Jericho. And if the matchup on SmackDown we saw a few weeks ago is any indication, Jericho, he's in for some serious trouble right now. Oh, wait a minute. Now it's Batista who's in trouble as Jericho flips him over. And he's got the walls of Jericho. The walls that Jericho applied as Jericho looking to wear down Batista. Make sure that he cannot even stand. Because if Batista cannot stand, there's no way he's going to be able to climb a steel cage, much less stop Jericho from doing so. As Jericho's climbing, he's scaling up, he's scaling to the top. Batista's up, but Jericho, he's over the top. And Jericho, both feet touch the floor. Edge and Chris Jericho, they retain their tag team championships here tonight. Wow, what a battle that was. Edge, he jumped out a bit early. Jericho, he almost was able to escape with Edge, but unfortunately for him, he got caught. He got caught by the Animal, and well, he was trapped in there with two of his opponents. But somehow, Jericho was just able to slide out of that one and escape with the gold. But as we see, we're on to the 6-man Armageddon Hell in the Cell main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, unfortunately, it takes away from the presentation a little bit, but these cage matches, they don't have entrances. I mean, I don't know when exactly the game started adding entrances for the steel cage or Hell in the Cell. Hulk Hogan just bounced off that cage. And, oh, face first goes Hollywood. But I'm not sure exactly when they started adding entrances, but they definitely are not in this game. So we didn't have entrances for the tag match, and we don't have entrances here, which is a little disappointing, but what can you do? There's only so much you can do. And I mean, with all these entrances, quite frankly, it would definitely add a lot of time to this video. I mean, instead of the, what is it, I think 35, 36 minutes it probably could have been like 40 or something. But there's only so much I can do, and I mean, I don't really know. I don't know what else to say. This is what we got. But nonetheless, perhaps doing it this way keeps it nice, short and sweet. We're not really throwing any filler in there, so to say. Or I mean, because, come on. We've seen these guys make their entrances how many times in the series? Like, seriously, I mean, I guess one night, we're not going to die. We're not going to die without their entrances. I think we'll be okay. But some of these superstars could possibly meet their end here tonight. As, I mean, they don't call it Hell in the Cell because it's a picnic. I mean, these men, they are putting their bodies on the line, and this matchup, a match like this, could shorten your career, perhaps even end your career. All 6 of these men are going to be in trouble, especially when you're talking about the world champ, Triple H. And he's had a mighty impressive title reign over the course of the series. I mean, he was the World Heavyweight Champion at the beginning of the series, and here we are 43 episodes later. Triple H, he is still on top of SmackDown as the World Champion. Nobody has been able to take the title away from him, but if there were ever a chance, if there were ever a time where Triple H, his title reign was in the most jeopardy, it is tonight. I mean, not only is he going up against the very game competitors, the likes of The Rock, Bret Hart, Randy Orton, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he's in a Hell in the Cell matchup. Triple H, I mean, the numbers aren't against him, and this cage that's known as Satan's structure, I mean, Triple H, he's in for a living hell tonight. No pun intended. I mean, Triple H, he is just... If he can escape with this with the World Heavyweight Championship, I will be shocked. I will be impressed. I mean, by this point, you can't really doubt Triple H's reign as the champ. But if he can somehow escape from this situation with the gold, I mean, he's got to be a Hall of Famer by that point. I mean, can anybody stop Triple H? I mean, at this point, I don't really know what to say. But, oh, wait a minute. Hulk Hogan, he's going to try. He's firing up the Hulkamaniacs as he goes off the ropes. And atomic leg drop there from Hogan, as he just connected right across the face of Triple H into the cover. But Austin, he's not going to let Hogan sneak away with a win that easily. And you know, when you look at all the sorts of combustible elements in this matchup, we've got Rock and Triple H. They've got their rivalry that has been going on over the course of the past month or so. Hogan and Bret Hart, they've been sort of at each other's throats as well. And especially when we look at Randy Orton and Stone Cold Steve Austin, they have done battle on numerous occasions. I mean, basically, their first encounter was at the No Mercy pay-per-view. That's where it all started for them. And, I mean, a lot of these rivalries could perhaps reach a conclusion here tonight. As we see, well, Triple H, he wants out of there, and somehow he managed to bust open that door and escape the cell. But, oh, now everybody's coming out. Everyone's coming out to join the party. Or they're all going back in, I'm not sure. But Triple H, he's up on the top of the cell. He wants to get as far away from everyone as he possibly can. As Bret Hart bounces off the turnbuckle there. Snake eyes from Hogan. Austin now. Rock also following outside of the Hell in the Cell. I mean, some of these men don't seem to quite understand what they're doing here. Triple H, he's taking the time just to gloat atop the cell. Oh, but now it's Austin. Austin's going up to join Triple H atop the Hell in the Cell. As Triple H, he's going after Austin. He's attacking him. Orton climbing the cell. The Rock, he's climbing the cell as well. Austin dropping back down. Hogan and Hart continue to go at it as Triple H is attacking anything that moves. The Rock just plummeted off the Hell in the Cell structure. He could have a broken neck, for God's sake. And a huge back suplex onto the cell by Triple H. Bret Hart goes for the cover, but there's Hogan. Hogan to break that one up. And that's a problem with this style of a matchup with so many people in the ring. Triple H, he's going to have a very difficult time as now Austin falls off the cell. He plummets, perhaps to his doom. I mean, Triple H, he's going to have a very tough time stopping all of these men from going for these pin attempts. As Triple H now picks up Austin. Oh, kick to the gut, and he's hooked the arms. And Steve Austin's about to get his pedigree checked by the game. As Triple H, he hooks the leg. Nobody's around. 2 count. And Triple H. Wow. I mean, there's got to be some sort of... He's got to have some sort of supernatural influence at this point. I mean, Triple H, how he managed to escape this matchup with the World Heavyweight Championship still in his grasp, I can't even begin to imagine. Triple H, I mean, if there was ever a time for a GM Mode Hall of Fame, I think Triple H would have to be the first inductee. I mean, this man just cannot be taken off of his throne. He truly is the King of Kings. And, I mean, wow. Can anybody take that world title away from him? I mean, Triple H, he has gone through match after match, opponent after opponent, some opponents even twice, and nobody has even been able to lay a finger on Triple H's World Heavyweight Championship. I guess you could say Benoit, he got pretty close and personal with the title, but not in a way he would have liked. But unfortunately, it looks like Bret Hart, he's got a bit of a minor injury, so it's nothing too major. We can survive. We just gotta... Bret Hart's gonna have to take it easy for a little bit. But a type of Hell in the Cell matchup like that, I would have been shocked if we didn't get an injury, quite frankly. I mean, the type of matchup that is, it's just very brutal on the body. But as we see, the pay-per-view got an overall of 5 stars. We did have a couple matches which were just kind of fillers because of, you know, a lot of the matches took up a lot of people. I mean, we had a Fatal 4-Way, the tag team match, the 6-man Hell in the Cell. Right there is like 14 people. That's over half our roster. And as we can see, we take a look. A lot of guys have some fatigue, but we got a lot of green arrows, which is good, even though a lot of people ended up losing. But it looks like that Hell in the Cell matchup, the ratings we drew in from that was enough to raise some of our guys' popularity. Van Dam, well, yeah, he's definitely been losing a lot lately. Kane wants a title shot. I don't understand. I just gave him one. What? Whatever. I don't... Some people you just can't please, but anyway, as we take one last look at the rivalry, some of them reaching their end at the pay-per-view, although some will continue. That is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the pay-per-view, and if you stuck it out for the entire video, make sure to comment down below, Wizard, because, you know, Kansas, Wizard of Oz, anybody. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep on YouTubing.